Hey everybody, it's Seti the Wind Sage, and welcome back to Let's Play Kiss for the Petals, Maidens of Michael's, Eris and Shizuku's route. In the last episode, we kind of got to see a bit more of, well, just kind of the adventures of these two, but we also saw kind of how Shizuku interacts with Mai quite a bit, and a little bit more of Reo Eris, but definitely quite a bit more of seeing Shizuku interact with Mai. And we also saw that kind of, that when these girls were asked what they want to do out of high school, since their graduation's coming up not too long, you know, Shizuku, she didn't say it to the others who asked her, but she kind of just dodged the question a little bit, but she didn't have an idea of what she wanted to do. However, when Eris was asked, Eris said she had a pretty solid idea of what she wanted to do in the future. She didn't elaborate on what she meant by that, but it definitely has gotten Shizuku's attention, as Shizuku doesn't even know what Eris is referring to. So yeah, in this episode we're probably going to continue on from there, as the title of this thing is What Does the Future Hold? And I'm recording this a little bit later at night, so I'm going to try to keep this pretty chill, like a pretty chill, pretty quiet episode. So yeah, anyway, let's get going.
バレンタインイベントでみんなに配るチョコの試作品だよ。少し多めに作ってきたのでエリス様も味見してみてください。でもほとんどボツになりそうなんですが。
すごい綺麗にできてるけどね。
本番はたくさん作るから丁寧なラッピングは無理なんだって。こういうのだと形が崩れる可能性があるから。
なるほど。でもこれすごいデリシャスだよ。それだけエリスの笑顔は破壊力があるというのでしょうか。
Truly that devastating. Again, I love the language Shizuku uses. It's just kind of like, the wording could really add a lot of an effect to, can really add a lot of an effect, and it just cracks me up every single time. It's just like devastating. I think she used another one in an earlier part that was that was equally as funny, but it's like it makes it seem like the situation is a lot more urgent than it actually is, and I love it. But yeah, anyway, let's keep going. I was less than amused.
みんな可愛いだけじゃなくてお菓子作りも得意なんだね。とっても女の子らしいよ。
エリス様、褒めすぎですよ。そうですよ。
Good grief.
エリスったらもう。
あ、雫様、お願いしてありましたチラシの方、もう書けましたか？
はい、こんな感じでよろしいですか？わ
あ、さすがです。すごい綺麗な字、ボレボレしちゃう。
そうですか、よかった。
じゃあ、あとはこれをコピーして。
それも私がしてきましょうか。
でもかなりの量だから他の人にも手伝ってもらう方が。
そうなんですか。やはりエリス様の国と日本のバレンタインは結構違うんですね。
そうだね。でも日本のバレンタインも面白そうだよね。
チョコがたくさんもらえるのはとってもいいことだわ。
あ、ここにあったチョコ食べちゃったの？
いいじゃない。私だって試食する権利はあるんだから。
抹茶入りのを楽しみにしてたのに。
抹茶よりこっちのキャラメルガナッシュの方が美味しかったわよ。
私は抹茶が食べたかったの。洋と和のコラボレーションがもう。
また作ってきますから。エリス様は本当に日本のものがお好きなんですね。もしかして自分の国より好きとか？
そんなことないよ。自分の国も愛しているわ。いつかまた帰りたいもの。
そうなの。
Oddly, I wonder if you can get. Okay, I should tread the sentence carefully on this one. I wonder if Eris is what you would kind of call in a way, like a. I don't think weeaboo is the right term for this, because I'm pretty sure weeaboo, for as odd associations as that word have, is technically just a person. Okay, I guess weeaboo doesn't actually make sense because like weeaboo is an obsession for the cult. Like weeaboo / like Japanophile, which would probably be the other term for it, is an obsession with the culture. And I doubt what Eris has is an obsession with the culture. Just first off, you know, there's a bit of cultural cultural shock, I think you call it. And then there's also just fascination with it. Again, I don't know much about Eris's personality and her liking for Japanese things to make an actual call on that, but I guess weeb probably wouldn't be the right word. But I feel it's something like that. It's probably a lot less severe. But I guess in that case you just call it an interest in the culture.
話しているそばからまた私のチョコ食べたわね。
This face Eris is making right now, I don't know why. It just makes like this is the first time we're seeing it. Just like I like this face because this is just Eris basically saying it's like I am thoroughly unamused. Like she's not even upset. She's just thoroughly unamused right now.
もう先輩ならお菓子くらい可愛い後輩に譲りなさいよ、エリス。
そっちこそもう少し年長者を敬いなさい、レオ。
Either way, can I say something?
もう
Okay,
先輩なら
so
お菓子くらい。
そっちこそ。
yeah, because I noticed it with Eris and Ray. Okay, so they've probably become friends at this point because they're on that. Okay, that the faces like that where it's just like the I am thoroughly unamused face on any character just cracks me up for no reason. On Eris especially, it's funny for some reason, but so at this point they've probably at this point they're probably already friends since they're just referring to each other by first name. Because I know that like honorific things is definitely kind of a slippery slope, and you can say that this is maybe too casual in terms of how these two actually interact, but again, from what I mostly understand, while there is kind of a implication in how it is, how you refer to people is mostly just a consent sort of thing. Just like you ask, hey, can I call you by this? Or it's like a consent sort of thing, either like you like, hey, can I call you this? Or I give you permission to refer to me as that. So, yeah. It doesn't inherently need to have like a romantic context or a very intimate context. But, yeah, so I find it interesting because, you know, it very much contrasts something like, say, with Risa and Mia, where them dropping the honorifics was a big deal. I can't. Okay, I don't know. Well, I was just going on that. I diverted my. Then I drifted my eyes up to look at Eris's face again. This face, like, I don't know why. It's not even that funny. I just love it.
しずく様？
やはりこのチラシは私が一人でコピーしてきます。
でも、待ってください。
エリスがあんなことを思っていたなんて。
Oh, this must be referring to when Eris said she wants to go back to her own country one day. Yeah. No, I can get Shizuku probably being mad at that. Again, this is just kind of one of these instances I feel where there's a lot of, like, I don't think there's a misunderstanding that, like, I can imagine, you know, Eris wants to go back to her home country someday. We don't know if it means to visit or just go back there to reside permanently, but who knows? And again, and you know, when Eris says she knows she knows what she wants to do for her future, again, I assume a lot of that stuff is like, I want to return to my home country one day with Shizuku, and things like, I know what I want my future to be, and I can imagine it is like, I want to go wherever Shizuku wants to go. I imagine that's where we're going with this. But I can get it also now because I can also get Shizuku's kind of concerns, because again, it's less about like jumping to worst case scenario, like I said in last episode, and just like she's never talked about this stuff with Eris, so how, like, she's never talked about this stuff with Eris, so it's like, you know, like, why haven't you, like, with her, it's like, why hasn't Eris told me some of this stuff she wants to do? And again, since she doesn't know exactly since she doesn't know what Eris is thinking, since they haven't talked about it, she can only try to figure it out herself. And I assume in her mind, assuming that these things that I mentioned would just be considered selfish, and she probably wouldn't want to go that route, because yeah, it is, in thinking about it, perhaps can be seen as conceited. Again, I think I'm onto something, though. I don't know if I'm exactly right, but I think I'm onto something with this. So, yeah.
もしかしてもう国に帰ってしまうのですか、エリス。
Oh yeah, no, there's that too. That's like one thing leading into another. Where, you know, Shizuku's probably thinking like Eris probably wants to go to school. You know, I'd say abroad, but abroad's not the right term, because she'd be going back to her home country. You could technically say what she's doing here is studying abroad, assuming she hasn't just fully moved to Japan. But yeah, that's another thing where it's like, when you only know so much information, you could have to try to piece together the rest. And I don't think Shizuku is on a terrible train of thought with this.
昨日もあまりよく眠れませんでした。
ごきげんよう、しずく様。
ええ、ごきげんよう。
バレンタイン、どなたにあげるか決まりまして？私は思い切ってユーナお姉様に。でも競争率高そうですわ。ええ、ユーナお姉様にあげたいって方、今年も多いらしいです。
Yeah, I actually really like how this story is kind of handling issues like this again. Contrasting this where I feel when they did this kind of thing with Sarah and Kaede, it felt like a bit too much and a bit not done well. This I understand, especially since I feel I can really sympathize with Shizuku in this way, especially something she said where it's like Eris wasn't behaving any differently from usual, so I may have been overly concerned, but she had said she wanted to return to her home country someday. Like, that's kind of a thing where, like, there's a part of your brain that logically kind of gets something, but emotionally still doesn't completely get it. I feel that's what's happening here, which, like, she realizes, okay, maybe I'm overthinking this, but, you know, her mind says this, but her heart's also, like, her heart's like, I'm concerned about this. You know, I get how this is, and I feel she's really kind of handling this, I feel she's going down these things already. She's going kind of, it's kind of real, like, all this stuff makes sense to me. Because of things like, for example, I think I lost my point. What was it? But the thing about it is, like, you know, she's kind of going through all these things where it's like, yeah, I feel she's just kind of these thoughts she's going through. Again, it feels all really real, very kind of interesting, and I like how she's handling it. I'm not to say that how Kaede handles this Sarah's modeling partner situation is unrealistic, but it's not. It's definitely kind of feels a little more like a stretch than this does. The only thing about this where I feel Shizuku perhaps isn't handling this all that well is, why don't you just talk to Eris? But I imagine there might be actual elements in place that cause her to not want to do, that cause her to be unable to. She mentioned something about kind of, you know, she's the shyer of the characters, so she's definitely probably a bit more concerned about opening up. And you know, I think she said something else where it's like, I want to know the answer, but I'm scared to hear it. Where, you know, that makes sense. Again, I still feel at some point, you know, if it's affecting you, like you can barely sleep and you're having anxiety over it, maybe it's best to talk to her, talk to someone about it. But yeah, but you know, I think she said something about talking to Maya about it, but you know, only to the extent as how much is her, like, ears said she would pick up. So it's more of like she's scared. She's kind of scared of. She's scared of confrontation, perhaps. She's scared to, she needs to know the answer for peace of mind, but she's scared of what the answer is going to be. So again, it's not bad, I feel. And I guess something to remember about all these characters is that all these characters they're still teenagers, except for Shizuku. Shizuku might be an adult at this point. I forgot when you're considered legally an adult in Japan. I'm pretty sure it's 20, so maybe not quite yet, but, and you know, the whole teenagers thing is a justification for Kaede, and for Kaede's kind of things, where it's, you know, like, still kind of like a teenager who's still new to love, so maybe, like, her behavior you can say is reasonable. I just feel that even if it's reasonable, it's done better here. But yeah. Oh, looks like we're gonna get an answer to what I was talking about.
Shizuku, ごきげんよう。
エリス。
どうしたの？朝からそんな大きな声を出して。
なんでもないです。
雫、少し顔色悪くない？もしかして具合悪いの？
I wonder what she means by that. I knew I would just end up humiliating myself if I brought it up. Maybe because they're in public right now? Is that what she's referring to? But I don't completely get what she means by humiliating herself. Yeah, again, this is kind of one of these things where, again, this is where the human mind does not always make the best of judgment calls. And the solution that, while in theory is the smartest thing to do, it doesn't quite always, like, that would logically be the smartest thing to do isn't quite always the solution. So I can get that.
雫
いえ大丈夫です。ちょっと寝不足なだけで。
I'm fine, just a little sleep deprivation. It never hurt anyone, you know? I get sleep deprived. It's just like, you know, some people say like having trouble sleeping, and I know this is technically the same thing, but again, I like the language used here by Shizuku. She's like, oh, nothing, just a little sleep deprivation. It makes it sound like or you know, some other people say like, oh, I'm tired. But it's like, again, what Shizuku is saying is kind of is correct, kind of in the way that but it's kind of her kind of way she says things that have this way of kind of almost making things sound a bit more extreme than they actually are.
珍しいわね。何か悩み事とかあるの？
違います。寝る前に本を読んでいたらつい夢中になってしまって。
そっか。病弱な感じの雫も儚げで可愛いけど、美容のためにはちゃんと寝ないとね。
そうですね。エリス。
何キスしたいの？
違います。そうじゃなくて、卒業したらなんでもありません。
Yep, that's what I thought. She's afraid. She's afraid of the answer. She's afraid of knowing. She's afraid of thinking. Basically, she's afraid of her worries being on the mark. Basically. So I understand that a bit. I understand that a bit more. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And, you know, she even kind of calls herself out for her own fault in this, you know, when she calls herself a coward. And, you know, coward maybe is a bit of a strong word in this instance. I kind of understand how this stuff goes. But, you know, she points out, it's like, you know, it's a lot easier if I just talk to her, but it's kind of this logic of it's a lot easier if it'd be a lot easier on me if I just talk to her, but but I'm scared of the answer. In a way, it's kind of like in a way she almost gets kind of peace of mind not knowing. Well, she does and doesn't. It's kind of a weird paradoxical situation. It's almost to her at this point where it's like, I'd rather like, it's basically, it's like she'd rather not know than be correct. Like, she'd rather not know and be anxious that way than to be anxious because her worries were grounded. She kind of wants to be ignorant about it. She kind of just wants to perhaps hope things work out, but that's not healthy for her. But again, in her mind, it might be the lesser of two evils. So yeah.
変な雫。じゃあキスじゃなくてこれは？雫の手冷たくなってるね。私がいっぱい温めてあげる。
エリス。私今日は日直なので急がないといけません。
I think when I think about it, this is a lot like Reo's situation here. She's like Shizuku worried she's gonna have to say goodbye to Eris. Like that for her, it's a lot more amplified because it's a romantic relationship with these two. But there's a very much a different way of it just shows the different ways in which these characters deal with a similar situation. It's very unique, where Reo deals with the situation the way she knows best, like pushing people away, trying to make herself angry and perhaps in some way make Eris hate her, so she feels that if I do that, then there won't, like, if I do that, if we're not friends anymore, it won't be painful. Like, that's how she handles that situation. And with Shizuku really doesn't deal with this. Shizuku's just like, I'd rather not deal with this, and she tries to just push it back into her mind. She loves Eris too much to upset her, and she wouldn't, and pushing Eris away is probably not how she would handle a situation like this anyway, but yeah, she just doesn't know what to do, so she's like, you know what, I'm just not going. She's kind of procrastinating on it. She's trying to prolong trying to deal with it.
エリスは後からゆっくり来てください。
And at the end of the way, she's still kind of pushing Eris away in a way, probably to see if that helps cushion, lessen the impact of the fall in her mind. Because again, we don't know exactly what's going on with Eris, and I'm curious about what's going on, but I think I have an idea of what's going on. But yeah, I think basically it's just like she's kind of pushing Eris away still, kind of. Where Reo did it aggressively, Shizuku kind of does it, in a calm way almost, and that's how that is basically.
ちょっと雫。あ、エリス様、ごきげんよう。
ああ、ごきげんよう。あれ？
なんだか気まずいです。まったく何をやってるのでしょう、私は。結局今日は一日エリスを避けてしまいました。このままではいいわけないのですが。は
あ、雫様、それ私も手伝いましょうか？
大丈夫です。ほとんど完成していますから。
でも2人でやった方がきっと早いですよ。手伝います。
She said before sitting down next to me. Again, I think I pointed this out before. It's like Shizuku sometimes talks as if she's narrating a book, and kind of a way she is kind of narrating a story. But yeah.
はい、終わりました。
うん、完成ですね。 ここにあったリボン、これでもう全部かしら。
あとはもう使っちゃいました。
これだと当日足りなくなっちゃいそうね。また買い足さないと。
それじゃあ私が。
今手が空いているので、私と雫様で買いに行ってきます。
え？
いいですよね、雫様。
私は構いません。
先輩たちの手を煩わせなくても私たちで行きますよ。
ありがとう。でも今ちょうどやってた作業が終わって手が空いたところだから。
By the way, yes, I do see what Mai's doing here. Well, I'm pretty sure I see what Mai's planning. I'm pretty sure she's just trying to get Shizuku into a situation to open up to her, but yeah.
そうなのね。それじゃあお二人にお願いしようかしら。ななみ。
はいユーノ様。
それじゃあしずく様行きましょうか。
ええ。
Honestly, I can kind of get a little bit what Shizuku's going through because, like, you know, she wants to separate herself from Eris right now because, partly because again, this is the flight or fight situation kicking in, and she is flying like a bird at this point. But you know, sometimes you just you feel bad for doing, it, but you know, it's kind of like what you're. It's almost an instinct at that point. It's just like, it's kind of like, again, your body's flight or fight reaction, except this time it's not with any physical danger, more just anxiety. But yeah. Right. Oh, are we doing Mai's POV? Oh, that's unique. We don't. This is like when we got Rayo's POV in Sarah and Kaide's route. It's like, how they know it's better than that, because with Rayo it's just literally a what the hell is going on situation. We're here though, it's a bit more grounded, I feel.
Mai さん？
なんでもないです。リボンの他にもいろいろ買っちゃいましたね。
ええ、100均でしたっけ？こんな店があるの、私初めて知りました。
レオも同じこと言ってましたよ。ここは庶民御用達ですからね。
でもとても面白かったです。以前店内のものがすべて300円の店を教えてもらったことがありましたが、100円はびっくりです。
There's 300 yen stores? It's a very specific price. Like, I don't know what the current exchange rate is, but it's like, that's like roughly $3, because I'm pretty sure every 1 yen's roughly, I mean, every 100 yen is $1. So basically 1 yen. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, I don't know. That means 1 yen's roughly a cent in exchange rate. It's kind of difficult, but yeah.
Shizuku様、何か話したいこととかありませんか？
え？
少し悩んでるように見えたので、もし私でよかったら聞きますよ。
マイさん。あ、でもそういうのはご迷惑では。
この前、雫様の家でお茶をごちそうになった時、雫様は私に言ってくれましたよね。はい。悩みがある時、気楽に相談できるのが友達だと私は思っています。
マイさん、私の話聞いてくれますか？
はい、もちろんです。
Okay, so we're getting the TLDR version of this. That's all right.
そういうことだったんですか。
ええ、聞いてくれてありがとうございます。
雫様、偉そうなことを言ってしまったらごめんなさい。
It's a best way to start anyone's sentence. That doesn't totally get the other person's anxiety levels just straight up through the roof. Like, forgive me if this is out of line. It's basically saying, like, you probably don't want to hear this, but
いえ、構いません。舞さんのご意見ぜひ聞かせてください。
わかりました。じゃあ言わせてもらいますね、雫様。これはちゃんとご自分で解決しなくてはダメだと思います。
wait.
これはちゃんと
I think
ご
this
自分で解決
I
し
think
な
there's
くては
something
ダ
you're
メだ
going
と
to
思
have
い
to
ます。
figure out on your own.
エリス様がどういう進路に行くのかはっきりと聞いてないので私は知りません。ですが雫様はそれを聞いて一体どうしたいのですか？
私はその
私は卒業まであと1年あります。だから具体的な進路は決まってません。でも
My adorable, ignorant, spoiled little girlfriend.
私は何があってもレオのそばにいたいと思ってます。絶対に離れたくありません。
舞さん。
だからレオが何と言おうがそうしようと思います。それが今の私の進路かななんて。
I don't know. Something tells me you're gonna have to drag Rayo around more than Rayo dragging you around, Mai.
舞さんは本当に迷いがないのですね。すごいです。
そうでもないです。でもレオについては絶対に諦めたくないから。
Yeah, then I was about to comment, like, Shizuku, you're kind of missing the point. I mean, not completely, but it's like, Mai has no plan at all. She just knows she wants to be with, she knows she just wants to be with Rayo. So, yeah.
私も諦めたくありません。
There we go. That's more to the point. Again, everyone mentions that her being loud is a surprising thing, and I can get that with her personality, but again, I feel Shizuku's the loudest character. Or can be.
私の話を聞いてくださってありがとうございました。今やっと自分の気持ちに気づきました。
雫様、あ、メールだ。
私もです。
今日は早めに解散したのでお二人は学校に戻らずそのまま帰宅してくださいですって。
そうですね。じゃあ私は電車で帰りますので。
はい、それではごきげんよう。じゃあ今夜はレオの好きなものでも作ってあげようかしら。じゃあ頑張ってくださいね、雫様。
Ah, man. It's stuff like this which is the
舞さん
exact...
に話を聞いてもらえて本当によかった。
It's stuff like that which is the exact reason I love my Eris's true feeling. Oh, That promises to be interesting. But, yeah. Yeah, but honestly, there's reasons for that Mai is such an awesome character, honestly. You know, Mai can be, you know, I feel Mai, again, you know, Mai can be very motherly in a way. And I feel like, you know, but I mean that not only in, you know, comfort, but in her ability to comfort, but in her ability to be stern as well. And I feel like, you know, this is still like, sometimes you just need to be told what's up without sugarcoating, without things being sugarcoated or words being minced. And, you know, Mai does that really good. And I feel, you know, and I feel it helps sometimes. And you know, sometimes it might suck to hear things just as they are, but sometimes it also just, sometimes it helps. Sometimes it helps. And I feel that was really good. And again, I really like this episode. Like, I really like seeing kind of Eris's, you know, I'm very invested into Eris's struggles and all. I'm very invested into Eris's struggles and how Eris is. I mean, no, I didn't. Did I say Eris? I meant Shizuku, and how Shizuku's kind of handling. You know, how Shizuku's kind of going about this, handling it, all that stuff. It feels very realistic to me, and I really like it. You know, not gonna. Yeah, it's really good, and yeah, I'm really liking the story so far. The part of me feels like the story's gonna be extremely short. Unless something else is added to, like, I wouldn't mind if the story is, you know, maybe even one, like, two, maybe even just one more episode long if, you know, if it wraps things up in a little bow like this, but, you know, yeah, it feels like there's not much left, but, like, it feels like there's not much left, but it also feels like the story would be extremely short if it just, like, say, ended next part. So I guess we'll see where things go. Another conflict might be added in. There might be another conflict, or say one problem ends and another begins. You know, the out of the frying pan into the fire sort of approach to things. So, yeah, I'll see how things are. Maybe, or maybe things, even though they seem fine, will just downward spiral really badly. But yeah, I guess that's how. Yeah, I guess that's how that's gonna be for a bit, and we'll figure out more about that next time. So yeah, next time on A Kiss for the Petals, Maidens and Michaels, Eris and Shizuku's route. We'll see where things go from here. See you guys then.